little sugar boogers, welcome back to the channel. So today we are here to take a peek at the brand new update that was released June 2nd, 2016 for The Sims 4. Obviously, what else? So there are two new key features that I think you should be informed about that are definitely going to take your game to all new heights. The first and most obvious one is definitely the brand new lighting system. Let's just go ahead and take a quick gander on how this kind of works and some of the things you can expect and how this is going to change your game, hopefully for the better. So as you can see, we have Mr. Brooks kind of standing here in front of the window, and his shadow is gracefully casted onto the carpet floor beneath him, as well as a little bit of the bed and also the details within the window frame. I think this is so freaking gorgeous and so beautiful, and what's really cool is that as the sun rises and sets and you go through all the phases of the day, you're going to notice that the shadows are going to be placed obviously in different areas of the room or what have you, just as they normally would in real life. So you can see a little bit there, some here, and it's all different degrees as well. Like even through this little window, you can see just a tiny little bit of sunlight as it kind of beams off the metal of the sink and dances on the floor. I think this is so freaking gorgeous, and I believe for a lot of us who do machinimas and also love to do the storytelling aspect with photos or whatever, this is definitely going to open up our game and give us even more like realism and options and stuff like that. I just feel like it's so freaking gorgeous. Another thing that I also need to add really fast is that this is also going to be the same with moonlight. So at night, you're going to also get these really beautiful like casts onto the floor as the moonbeams kind of shine in through the window. And I think that also is really freaking majestic and so damn glorious. Like, I cannot wait. I love the lighting, and I loved the lighting in The Sims 3, but I don't even think there was anything like that or like this in that game at all. I don't know. I just think it's so beautiful. So that's what I do remember from the notes of this update, is those are the two things that you're going to notice. Now, I don't really know if there's going to be anything else that will be changing in terms of lighting. If you guys have noticed anything or see anything, feel free to drop that in the comments down below, because again, I didn't see anything, it wasn't said, but who even knows at this point? I don't know. So one of the things that you're going to need in order to be able to see these new lighting mods, I keep saying mods, this new lighting system, is it's going to be for players with settings set to very high. So that means, and I had a laptop, and I returned it because I don't think I'm ever going to use it. And I don't know, I didn't really like the way that it played on The Sims 4. Anyway, it was okay, but it wasn't great. You know, I'm picky. So anyway, what it means by that is if you go into here and your settings are set to low, medium, and very high, once you have them set on very high, you will be able to see the moonlight and sunlight projecting through the windows. Now, if it's on high or anything lower than that, meaning, you know, your computer can't handle it or your specs are low, you unfortunately won't be able to see this new update in the lighting system, which I think sucks big cojones. When I read that, I was like, oh, that is going to piss off some people. But it's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles. It is kind of a high feature, like a, you know, graphically a high demand on a computer. So I could get why that wouldn't be a thing if you have low specs, you know. It's either performance or lighting, you choose. But I kind of, oh, that was beautiful, the way that kind of happened. I even feel like the shadows just look different. Is that me? Wow. Okay. So I know that might be disappointing to some, because I do believe, even though I had a pretty good gaming laptop, it had pretty good specs, it did not have the option to have very high lighting. So that means that would have not been a thing on that laptop, and that's kind of a bummer. So let me go ahead, while Brooks enjoys himself some gorgeous chips, talk a little bit about the new gender capabilities for The Sims 4. I'm actually going to go ahead and take Laura into the one of the bedrooms, and she's going to go ahead and demonstrate what this new feature is all about. So you can do this let's see, you will be able to control these features in Create a Sim like immediately. And you will be able to also control these features from your closet. I don't know if you can change them from your mirror. Let's go check. Let's take a peek. Apparently, you'll also be able to do it on your mirror, Very cool. And what I mean by that is you will have new CAS capabilities. So you know how before we would have to go and do cheats before we could play with any of the sliders, or we could really change the physique of our Sims in any way, shape, or form. Now you'll be able to do that without having to enter any cheats. You will also be able to remove and add tattoos. So if you want your Sim to have a tattoo, you can just go ahead and be like, "Hey, bro, you got tatted up today," or "Hey, girl, you got yourself a sweet little tat." You know what I mean? You just go in there and you just do it, sort of. So yeah, you're able to go ahead and add in your tattoos. I guess that's not the same as skin details. Damn. Okay, maybe not, but it's still really cool because you'll be able to play around in a way that you would need to kind of cheat to do so. Just takes a little extra time. This is the lazy way. Okay, so before we hop into the next portion of the video, I'm going to give y'all a quick little disclaimer. Even though I honestly shouldn't have to, I'm doing it just to be courteous. Some of the things and the topics I may discuss could be sensitive for some, so I just wanted to go ahead and forewarn you. And whether you are a supporter of the LGBT community or you aren't, I want you guys to know that what I'm talking about and what I'm discussing is about a patch, is about an update. It's not about your belief or my belief. Now, if we want to talk about beliefs and you guys want to know where I stand as a person, I believe that no two people are alike. We are all different shades of the rainbow, and your color will never be identical to the person's color next to you. I believe who somebody loves, what clothes they wear, where they came from, how they grew up, and you know what they choose to do with their lives is nobody's business but their own. And I don't feel like you or I have the right to tell how another human being or any being should live their life. I just don't think that's right. So I support the community. I have a family member who is very near and dear to my heart who is gay. And I'm just really not open, and I mean that maybe make me a bad person, but I'm just not open to hear the negativity. I'm open to hear your opinions. Yes, that's different. But if we could just leave everything LGBS out of it, and if you can't do that, then just don't watch this part of the video. That would be great. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Hopefully I spoke well of what I was thinking and interpreted myself to the best of my ability, because I know this is a sensitive topic. It's a hard topic for me to talk about because I'm afraid that I'm going to step on somebody's big toe and they're going to get mad at me. But you know what? I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to talk about it because I can, and I will. And as long as I'm not disrespectful about it, there shouldn't be a problem here. I am so open to being educated because Lord knows I need it. Okay? So anyway, let's go ahead and hop on into the new gender options for the Sims in our game. Hopefully that wasn't too heavy because, girl, whew, I feel like I just got weight off my shoulders. So first thing that you're going to notice is when you click on this beautiful little pom bob, you're going to have those 3 dots, girl, and it says customize gender. So you're going to click the 3 dots and you are able to select from the following settings. You were able to change your Sim's physical frame. You have 2 options, masculine and feminine. You're also able to go ahead and choose their clothing preference, which opens a whole new world of possibilities in the fashion realm. Yes, no longer do you have to have items converted for male and female. Now all the game options are available to you. Now when they say all, they have a little star next to it, so I'm kind of thinking some of these items may not be there because they were going for perfection and not sloppy, I guess. So you may notice some of your items or your favorite items may not be there, but again, I think that was so that the items looked good on either physique and, they weren't botched or missing or looked like you basically pin the tail on the donkey. And then you're also able to go ahead and select the Sim will be able to become pregnant, get others pregnant, or neither. Can this Sim use a toilet while standing? Now this is the only thing that kind of made me go, huh? I get it for males, If you do have the male genitalia, you will be able to sit down, stand up, pee sideways. I mean, there is so many damn things you can do with that noodle. I am just jealous. Okay, my husband, who, I don't really think it has to do with sexual orientation. My husband, he pees both. It just kind of depends on what time of the day it is. You know what I mean? But anyway, that was probably TMI. But I don't understand what that has to do with being if you're a female and you don't have those genitalia, how are you going to pee standing up? I just want to know how that would work, because I'm not going to lie to you. If somebody could tell me how, that would seriously save me some serious discomfort on various occasions, So I was a little kind of confused by that. How is that a thing for females? And I'm not sure what the purpose was. So if somebody could educate me and tell me, how and why that would be there, that would be great. That is not an insult. That is nothing negative. I'm just genuinely asking. Okay. All right, cool. So that was the only thing I was kind of confused about, but I really loved this sim will be able to get pregnant, get someone else pregnant, neither. And the reason why I liked this for me personally is because, well, obviously the options, and then being able to have my sim maybe not get pregnant, so neither, will be able to open up another world of gameplay where some women aren't able to have children. Like, you know, sometimes there's things that happen to our female organs and we're not able to have babies. And I feel like that is something that not a lot of people have ever played in The Sims 4, and that is actually something I am incorporating into one of my LPs very soon. So this is perfect. So, you know, like if I will never be able to have the try for baby options because my sim, you know, can't have babies, and we can go in and edit that at any time. So I think that's really freaking awesome. And then this also opens the possibilities for males being able to have children, whatever, you know, you want them to be able to have the ability to do. So before we play with some of that kind of stuff, I just also want to talk about the new audio options. There is a whole bunch of options here. We now have, instead of being able to have only the kind of lighthearted and sweeter voices for the females, we are able to have all of the spectrum. Same for the males as well. So we are able to give our Sims the original gender profiled audio options, and then also the other ones that were only available for either gender. So you can make your Sims have more of a manly voice, female voice, whatever your heart desires. Now, I do believe this is going to be perfect for your Sims who are transitioning. So like, obviously, if you really want to depict you know, your Sim story of how they, you know, transition from male to female, you would be able to do that in baby steps and really execute it perfectly to show like the different stages and life stages and how that went for them, and be able to really show off and showcase their story. So I think that's really cool. You know, how their voice gets deeper and then lighter. I think that's just amazing. I don't know. I like that. So anything else I need to talk about there? Nope. Same options are also available for your males. So I want to go and show you guys really quick what this kind of options look like in game. I don't know if it's you, but I noticed that the men, they got a little more oomph on their pecs, like a little more definition. Before it used to be like kind of like Ken doll flat, but now it's like a little more like, you know, I don't know, more defined and stuff. It looks good. So here we go. We are going to go ahead and show you off the options. So if you wanted to make Laura into a male, she's going to have her physique, and it's going to be feminine because that is what she was previously, was a female. So you could go ahead and change that into masculine. So then they look 100% male. I do believe. And then you could also go ahead and play with, you know, the clothing preference or whatever. You don't need to have a clothing preference, though. You don't have to set their preference. You can still keep it like masculine, and then you can go in here and just kind of cancel out the filters like so. And then you can go into fashion choice and then do feminine. And then your Sims can still, they don't have a fashion like preference, but they can still wear either. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, if you're wondering if these capabilities are available for children, they're not. This option to be able to kind of play around and with the different clothing options and stuff, I believe takes place when they are teens, and the ability to convert their gender, I do also believe is available at teens as well. Although there will be options to choose their pregnancy preference, you will not obviously be able to get your teen pregnant. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's just go ahead and put Laura back into her swimwear. So here we are. And then if we did masculine, you can see how her body structure changes. Her shoulders widen, her midsection kind of gets a little bigger, and then her hips also, ooh, that was really loud, I'm like, hips, what the hips? Her hips get a little more narrow, and then her feet even get bigger, so that's kind of cool. And you can obviously change this too. You don't have to like have them have anything. Like, you could totally play around with it, which is also cool. So if you don't like the way that they look, you can always change it up, which is awesome. Before, again, we could only do it with cheats. All right, so I think that's about it for that part with Laura. Let me see. So I could do masculine. So you can also keep them completely feminine, and then also dress them up in male clothing as well if you wanted to. And this is kind of what this looks like. There's just so much to cover, you guys, so if I'm a little all over the place, I do apologize. Like I said, I am kind of just looking at this with you guys firsthand as well. This is definitely options I've wanted for Amy in our Get Together LP, because I feel like she would wear more of the male style clothing versus like the girl. It's been really hard for her because she does not like dress like, you know, femininely at all, really. So this is really going to be awesome for her. So yeah, that's just some of the options. Again, you can go back and forth. You can choose whatever clothing style your heart desires. You do not have to stick in you know, the gender filters anymore. So let's go ahead and play with Brooke. So what we can see here is, again, his physique changing. Once you put him into a more feminine physique, you're going to notice he's going to get more feminine features. You know, the slimmer waist, the bigger hips, smaller feet, you know, more narrow shoulders, that sort of thing. And then you can also, again, you know, feminine, but they can still dress masculine or vice versa. And the same options go there as well. Now, was there anything else I wanted to tell you about this? That's right, there was. So the same thing that applies to the clothing applies to the hair. I think it applies to the hats, and it applies to accessories, shoes, and everything else in CAS as well. So your males will be able to have female hair, vice versa. They will be able to have more options when it comes to makeup. And also, if you have CC in your game that has male capabilities, you'll be able to do that as well. Does that make sense? Some of the CC will be limited depending on what the creators allowed as an option for CAS, if that makes sense. So one of the things that I did notice, and I'm not sure if this is an oversight or intentional, but I did notice that facial hair was not allowed for females, which I think is a huge big deal, because say your sim is on hormones or whatever situation that you have created in the storyline, wouldn't one of the things that would be a part of that would be growing facial hair? Because I do know that once you go on hormones, like if you take estrogen or you take testosterone, I think it is, you will have hair, facial hair, either, you know, disappearing or growing. And so I kind of think, in my personal opinion, and I think they should also, well, they don't have full body hair, so I guess that wouldn't apply, but I do think at the very least they should incorporate facial hair for the females. That's just me personally. So another thing I wanted to briefly touch base on, in case you guys were curious, is whether or not these new gender CAS options will take place randomly. So no, they won't. From my understanding, what I've been told, your Sims will not randomly change their preferences, whether it's, you know, their gender or their clothing, hair, all that kind of stuff. They won't unless you manually do so or change them in Create a Sim, if that makes sense. So you're not going to have Sims that are going to start wandering around in, you know, different attire, or all of a sudden, you know, change their gender without your command to do so, if that makes sense, in case you were wondering. So I'm not really sure what else to talk about or show you guys. I did indeed try to like capture some of the moonlight, but I wasn't successful at it. For whatever reason, none of the moon beams shined through my windows. And so I'm definitely curious to see if that's something that's going to be random every single day. But what I did notice, and I think if I show you guys with the lights off, you will be able to see it a little bit better, is how the rooms illuminate and how it just kind of scatters onto the desk and onto the wall. I'm really excited about this brand new lighting and all of the other options that come along with this update. So I did see Nando on Twitter questioning whether or not we got new chimneys. I can't remember exactly which ones they were. I think it was these ones. He was kind of curious as to if we got new ones, or there might have been other chimneys as well. So go ahead and take a peek and let me know in the comments down below. Was there new chimneys with this update, or am I like, or is he like just hallucinating? No, I'm just kidding. Are we crazy? Because I think he might be right. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm actually going to go ahead and roll out. I know I did tell you I was going to show you some of the other lighting options and capabilities, but I honestly think you kind of get the very base idea of what I was showing you. I mean, come on, this is like seriously freaking gorgeous. And I think it would be a lot more fun for you guys to go ahead and hop in game and experiment yourself. But I feel like everything, though, honestly, like I feel like everything is just it's different. It just, for some reason, has given this game a whole new look. So I hope you guys enjoyed this patch or update overview. And if you did, don't forget to go ahead and give this video a huge thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below where the sun doesn't shine. And as usual, I will see you all next time.